Welcome back. The image of the fatherless black family is one that's been reinforced by American media for more than a half century. There are truths that feed the stereotype, but today a new film is out which explores the issue in far greater complexity. It's called The Black Fatherhood Project, and director Jordan Thierry joins us today to talk about it. Thanks for taking the time with us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
What drove you to explore this issue?
Well, you know, when I was graduating from college, I saw a lot of my friends, especially my black male friends, really who didn't make it there, and you know, they had fallen off on the wrong track, one way or the other, and I wanted to kind of figure out why that was. And so when I thought about it, I mean, really, for those of us who did make it, that sort of common factor was the father factor. Mm-hmm. And then so I said, well, this is a real serious thing. And of course we know this and we've heard about this, but there was not really any film, documentary material that kind of explored why this was. And so I started to do some research, and I decided to start filming it while I was doing it. And really it started as just something I wanted to portray fathers in a positive light, because I felt like they were getting a negative portrayal in mainstream media. But then it grew into really a historical search as to why we're even why that stereotype of black men as deadbeat fathers exists, mm-hmm. and how we got to a place today where so many children are without their fathers.
Right. We've got a clip of the film we're going to throw to that and take a look at a little bit of what you're offering here.
All right.
This thing has been systemic since slavery.
In West Africa particularly, the concept was the extended family. Even within the system of slavery, there were usually black males who would take on the role of the father figure. There was never quite enough help. So black families struggled, and quite often this led to the breakup of the family. The 1960s as a civil rights movement. Moving forward, then you have this real large influx of drugs, illegal drugs, into the black community.
I saw my neighborhood deteriorate as a result of drug use. All of a sudden, heroin was everywhere. And then I saw it deteriorate again in the mid-'80s, when all of a sudden crack cocaine was everywhere.
It had an enormous impact on the breakup of the black family.
You've tackled a lot of issues in this film, and that must have made it difficult having so much to really hone it down to tell that story.
Yeah. Well, it took me, you know, over 6 years to make this film, and one of the challenges was, how do I talk about this issue and provide the historical context without making it sound like I was giving excuses
right.
for black men who aren't there for their children, mm-hmm. and at the same time pushing for more personal accountability and sort of the responsibility and also the community-wide sort of response in how we interact with fathers and with children, but then also looking at the societal impact as well, and how public policies are impacting families and what can be done to make families stronger, especially providing more opportunities for black men to have you know, good jobs and health care and things of that nature, right. which impact families.
We saw policies imposed in the 1960s, late mm-hmm. 50s, early 60s, that kept black men out of the household. Mm-hmm. And so those are things that many activists have talked about, but of course you've looked at a much wider variety of elements. Let's talk about today though. Now those things are far less of an issue. We have more opportunities here. Mm-hmm. Do you see the situation changing? Perhaps more black men in the home?
I think it's a two stories there. I think that along with the sort of the wealth gap, I think you see some families doing much better and you have some families doing much worse. So in one way there is more opportunity, right? I mean, there's the country is diversifying. We have an African American president. There's more opportunity, and the racial bias has decreased in that respect. But at the same time, the number of African American men is continuing to grow and increase in prisons.
Sure.
And
that 1 in
has
4, I believe, according to the Sentencing Project,
yeah.
just a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot. That's
exactly. A lot. And so that has a terrible impact on one's ability to transition back into society and try to provide for his or her family.
Were there any things you found that surprised you?
Yeah, I mean, there definitely were. I mean, to me, there was a lot more men who were very conscious and knew about the history of where this came from. Like you said, some of the policies that were implemented in the 50s and 60s that it discouraged black men from coming into the household. But some of the thing that I value most what I learned was actually learning about some of the African family dynamics pre-slavery, and looking at some of the traditional forms of society there, and that real "it takes a village" mentality wasn't just an idea; it was an actual sort of responsibility and basis of the whole society.
The film's called The Black Fatherhood Project. Now, when is this out? Is it online in theaters?
February 1st, it will be launched online on blackfatherhoodproject.com.
All right, we'll look forward to it. Thanks for coming in and talking about it.